So welcome everyone to the giraffe silhouette painting. This painting this evening is sponsored by Feasterville Library. So I want to thank Chrissy Gumina, the adult services librarian, who picked this one. And we are recording this evening. You will receive the recording at some point this week. I'll send it out to Chrissy when it finishes this evening. But we are going to be painting on approximately an 8 by 10 canvas board. You can have something smaller, you can have something larger. And also using some sort of plate or palette to put your colors on, because we will be mixing our colors. So we have 5 colors this evening: red, yellow, black, purple, and white. We will be making orange with our red and yellow. And then also make sure you have a cup of water, some paper towels, and at least 2 brushes, a flat brush and a round brush. For this one, I'm also going to employ sort of a medium and in-between brush as well. So if you want to do that, you can. It doesn't call for it. It just makes it easier when you're painting. And then obviously a pencil with an eraser. So we are going to get started now. And we're going to get started at the bottom of our canvas. I should also mention that we are doing this canvas landscape so that it is longer. And we're going to get started at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing our bottom part of our landscape. So just going with a curvy line straight across. So follow me as I do that. So again, I'm coming down to my canvas, but I'm going to go probably about maybe 2 inches above, 2.5. And I'm going to draw my landscape. And it's really just going to be kind of a curvy line going across. It's really a simple drawing, but because of the silhouettes can be a little bit time consuming trying to get them just right because it's black, but I promise it will look really good when you're finished. So what we're going to do next is we are going to draw the sun, okay, the setting sun. This is also another part that can be difficult, but we're going to start off on one side here, and we only have, maybe like 3/4 of the sun showing. So if we want to think about a circle, right? So our sun is kind of popping out like so. And if you need to draw more of the full circle, you can kind of start to extend that into your landscape if you want. I just like to make sure that it's, more roundish and a little bit pointier at the top of your circle. Pointier than you would think. But just do your best. That's pretty good. That's good enough. The other thing is, if you have something that you can trace, that is round and about this size, you can obviously do that. The other thing you can do, if you have something that's smaller than it, you can trace it and then follow your pencil maybe like an inch or two away from it and just following that shape. Oh, let's get Olivia back in here. Hey, Olivia. Okay, so once we have the circle for our sun, we're going to start with the silhouettes. And so the way that we're going to do these silhouettes is we're going to act at first as if we're doing stick figures. So we're going to come over here on the left side and we're going to do the mama giraffe and the baby giraffe. And so we're going to start at the bottom with the legs. So remember, we're going to do stick figures at first, sort of. So this is the back of the leg, and I'm going to go in really close so that you're able to see this. So we want to make sure that the back of the leg is on the bottom of our standing on our kind of landscape. So here's the back of the leg. We have the butt happening. And so the giraffe is going to be taller than our sun. So this is the neck. And for now, we're going to make it without the horns, or it's actually called ossicones, which I think is such a cool name. Oh, we have somebody else coming in. Hey, John, welcome. Gonna recopy our supplies in the chat for you. Welcome, welcome. We are recording. So I'm just gonna mute you so that it doesn't show up in the recording. But welcome. We are just getting started with the drawing phase of our giraffe silhouette painting. And so we are making the giraffe right now. My giraffe is a little bit closer to the sun than I normally make it. So what I might do is I might move my sun just a little bit over to the right. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right, so we are making our giraffe neck. And you want to make sure right now that it looks a little bit stiff, because we're going to go back in and we're going to make some more curves. So make sure that you are drawing lightly. This is the leg, the one leg, and then the next leg kind of goes into the baby giraffe. Now with the giraffe, at least the mama, I haven't drawn the ossicones on the top of the head yet. Those are the horns. And I haven't done some of the subtle shaping that's going to make it look more giraffe-like rather than horse-like. A lot of people tend to say that their giraffe looks like a horse. So remember, we're just doing stick figures for now. So that you can get the general shape of the giraffe. And then we're going to start adding in some of the necessary bumps to make them look more giraffe-like. Sorry, I just have to check my gallery view here. And I'm going to go in really close so that you are all able to see this a little more. Just cleaning up my sun here. This is the back end of my giraffe. So you should have something that looks a little bit like that. I'm going to start lightening up my sun line. Okay. So we're going to start adding some more bumps in to make it look more giraffe-like. And we're going to start with the adult giraffe. So right here, we've got the long neck. We're going to come over here and make sure that there is a bump that goes inward right underneath the neck. And then the face goes a little bit outward. And the end part of the face kind of looks like, let's see, let's go in real close. Kind of like almost like a corner. And it goes up. And we have the eye socket. And then it goes back. And we have the two ossicones. And then we have an ear. And we're going to slant downward. There is a bit of a bump. And then we're going to go back like so. And we do have a tail. Like so. To make a little more of a bump over here. Bump. And then up. And we have the two legs. And because it's a silhouette, we only see sort of a little bit of a triangular shape in between the legs. We have a little bit of a belly, and then The legs are a little more shapely. So I'm going to let you all catch up on that and just do your best. I think the drawing part for the giraffes is the hardest part of this painting. Other than that, we get to have fun with the sky and a really cool looking tree. And obviously we then have our little baby giraffe here. We have the little ossicones up top and an ear. And then same shape as the mama's. Like so. I'm going to make the bottom part of the leg just a little bit thinner because they are. But again, it's a silhouette, so it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, lift up a bit. And we're going to start now with the tree. Move my canvas over so you can see it. So our tree is basically going to be sort of, we're going to start off on the ground, right? And go and make sort of a wobbly, two wobbly lines. And then what we're going to do is we're not going to draw the inside branches of the tree. We're just going to draw kind of a cloud-like shape on top because we have to paint the background first. And it's harder to kind of paint around all of that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back down to the bottom of our canvas. And we're going to come to the landscape part, right? So we're going to add that tree. And basically what we want to do is we kind of want to add it a little bit inward because we're going to also be creating another line because the top part of our landscape is more purple. And so then our tree is going to start on this second line. And you're going to go up like so. And you're going to imagine that you're going to go up a little more. And you're going to try and figure out where you want that tree, the tree top. So I'm going to put mine And it kind of goes off the page. Like so. So this is the top of our tree. I'm actually going to extend this out a little more so that it hits more of the sun. So this is the part that we're not going to draw in. So basically, you know, you're going to have branches that are coming from here and we will paint those in. So just so you know, because I know it looks a little wonky without those branches, but just so you know, this is the top of the tree. And with that, we are ready to paint. And we're going to start painting from the top down to the bottom. And we're going to start off with red. And so we want to use our flat brush. You know, before we start painting, let's lighten up our sun by taking our eraser and just erasing over the line for the sun. Because the sun is so light. So before you actually start doing any painting, if you could take an eraser and lighten up the circle part of your sun, that would be great. Okay, so we're going to start off at the top left corner and the top right corner of our canvas. And basically, we're going to be painting in red. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to paint those top corners. And also kind of down the side till about maybe halfway, at least on the left side. On the right side, a little bit less. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to make that color go across like this. So the goal is to have this paint be wet. We're working wet on wet because it's going to help us blend all of these beautiful sunset colors. I'm going to add a little more here. And so what we're going to start doing is we're going to start adding yellow and red, which is orange. And we're going to mix those two colors, yellow and red, to get that orange. And that's going to be our next color in the middle. Mine's a little bit too red for my taste, so I'm going to mix a little more. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And you're going to push your paint from the middle onto the left side and the right side. And as you're going towards the sun, you're going to start adding more yellow. You can even add a bit of white if you like. But we want to go right up against our tree. And remember, below the tree. So you should have sort of an orangey color at this point. And then we're going to start to get more yellow as we work downward. As you're working, if you want, you can apply the paint in any direction because it's hard to keep going back and forth, left to right. But then when you have the background covered, like for instance, around your objects here, right? Your giraffes. And at this point, you may want to pick up your smaller brush as well. Working with your round brush and your flat brush at the same time. But basically, when you're finished with covering the background, you can then start to go left to right again in a continuous line. Now it's okay if you're not exactly, if you're covering a little bit of the sun or, but what you want to make sure is you want to make sure to cover that background because it's important in the sense of, we're not going to come around again. And what I like to do is keep the color on my brush. Like I don't rinse my brush. This is how we get that sunset color. I just keep adding yellow as I go downward until we're getting more towards, the bottom part. But then I'm even going to come back up into my sky that has started to dry up above. And you can see that my brush has the yellow on it. And I am going back and forth to create streaks in the sky. Mostly in the middle, so that the red is again on either side. And you can break up those streaks. You can also switch to your smaller brush if you want. But then as we're getting down toward the bottom, you do want to wash your brush so that you get more of a pure yellow as you're getting down to the bottom of your landscape. And you're going to go right into the sun with that pure yellow. Now you want a little bit of orange toward the bottom. So we're going to mix a little bit of the red in with the yellow after we complete the yellow sun. This is where you're going to want to take your time. Make sure you have the sun or the circle painted very well. It may require 2 layers. Again, don't be afraid to mix your colors as you're getting more towards the bottom here. And make mine a little more yellow. More like a little bit of a golden. Tiny bit of orange. As it travels toward the yellow here. And just take your time and have fun with the colors as they're kind of showing themselves. And as your paint is drying, you can go back and do some more layering or streaks with your colors. It'll be a different, it'll look differently once it's dry, but if you're going back while it's wet, it'll also look different. We haven't even added the purple yet, which is really fun. This is where, if you want to add some white to the sun, you could add it toward kind of the middle part of it. It'll also get a little bit of a glow look if you start going towards the edge of the circle. And if your brush is just slightly dry, you kind of create a glow effect. I'm still going to add a little more yellow to this though. Again, this is where you want to take your time. You want to make sure to fill in the landscape. You can start adding some more streaks of color. Now that it's probably a bit drier, meaning you're painting, I want to add a little more yellow here on the right. You can see I've kind of painted over my tree a little bit, and I'm okay with that because I can still see it, as long as you can still see it. And I want to go in now and touch up the sun around the edge to make it more more round. More yellow. You know, just go very slowly around the edge. If not, your circle will keep getting bigger. I've definitely had that happen. Sometimes it's helpful if you turn your painting when you're doing a circle. I find it helpful. I feel like there's less distortion when I turn it. So, however you feel comfortable. When you're ready, you want to start now adding some more streaks to the sky. The purple is actually the clouds, the sun shining through the clouds as, you know, our sunset is going down. You can use a combination of your flat brush and then even your round brush in order to get sort of the streaking of the purple. I also like to add in a bit more yellow sort of in the middle here. So I'm just going to take my flat brush, dip it in a bit of paint, and I'm going to stand it up and start going across like this with some more streaks. And I'm also going to start adding the purple to that as well. But first I want to add a little more of a different color in the middle. I also like to add a little bit of pink. So I mix, obviously, a little bit of white and red together. And I go in the middle. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink here as well. Now your sky can look however you want. You know, you can add more yellow, you can have some peach. I like to do a combination. And once some of that paint is wet, you can start to add some more colors in. Like right here, I'm adding a little more red to the edge so that it kind of fades into that color. So you can go back with your red still. I know we already used it, but you can go back in between some of the streaks and it'll look really nice. I'm going to add just a little bit of red over here. A little bit above my tree here. You can make the sky any way you want. And again, I'm going to add a little more yellow. And then back to the pink. I like to add a little bit of pink as it gets kind of closer to where the giraffes are. It's just a little hints of pink here. And it's more like a baby pink. So if it looks kind of whitish on zoom, that's actually pink. Get a little more rosy. There we go. And then you can start in with your purple. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to kind of dip your flat brush, just the tip, into purple. And you're going to start by gliding little pieces of it, kind of like dash, like making dashes almost. And the brush should be not real loaded up with paint so that you can make it very dash-like. And it's a little softer. And you can kind of rub it into the rest of the sky very lightly. So as it's drying on my brush, I'm still rubbing that color into the sky, into the red. Soften it up. Look at that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And this one, again, you're kind of dotting, making some space in between your dotted lines. And then you're going to soften those lines up so that it looks like a cloud. You can go back and add some more sharper lines if you want. Make it a little darker in some spots, like mine a little bit darker up here. Then again, smooth it out by just moving your brush back and forth on your canvas. Go a little bit down toward your giraffes if you want. And smooth a little bit out in between. So. I'm going to go back and lighten up around near the bottom of my sun with a little more white and yellow. Before we go back and, we're then going to be painting our purple on our landscape right before we paint our black. A little bit of white and yellow. I like to kind of give it a glowy effect at the bottom. of the landscape, I mean, in the sky. But I am going to add a little more yellow. It's not yellow enough. Here again, if you want to add more streaks of yellow, you can go back and repeat the process that we did up above, adding in some yellow. I'm going to do that near the tree here, just a little bit. I like to add lots of colorful streaks. So I'm just going back and adding a little more yellow to my sky. Okay. And when we're ready, we want to come to the bottom and we're going to make the purple and the black. Purple has a little bit of red mixed into it so that it's a little more plum-like. And that is on the surface right up against where our giraffes are standing. So here I am mixing a little bit of purple and red to get a little more of a plum-like purple. You can also, if it's not turning out that way, you can add some black and red as well. And you're going to get a little bit more of a plum as well. And then you're going to go straight across in that little section above the black. I'm doing a mix of both purple, red, and a little bit of black. Now remember, you want to go up against your tree, but you don't want to cover your tree. Oh, not enough red there. You're going to sweep it all the way across. Maybe about a half an inch. When you're done with that, you're going to take your black. And this is where we really start to come in with our black. So you can see my purple here. Let me put some, shine a little light now that it's getting a little bit darker out. I'm gonna move my, this is a purple. It's looking a little bit weird on Zoom. The one at the top is the purple. And then I'm coming in with the black, and we're going to go right into our landscape with this because we are finishing up with our silhouettes. It really starts to transform once you add the black. So if you're thinking it's not looking so great, when you start adding the black, I think it really transforms it. So you're going to fill in the bottom part of your canvas with black. Now remember, in order to apply that black, you don't have to go back and forth yet, like left to right, until after you can like smooth it out. But in order to apply it, if you need to go up and down, that's quite all right. It is quite all right. Then you just smooth it out, going left to right when you're done. And then when you are ready, you're going to add a little more background to the bottom of our tree with the leaves, because we want to make sure that we have enough background there. So you may have to kind of paint over the bottom portion of the area with your leaves. So the top part of the tree is what I'm saying. There is a method to my madness, so you want to paint that, and then we're going to let that dry a little bit and move onto our silhouettes for the giraffes. And this is where you're going to have to concentrate and go slow. And you'll be moving between probably your flat brush and your round brush so that you can really get the details. I like to start off with my flat brush, fill in kind of the middle parts of the giraffe. Keep the black on my brush and hold it in the other hand. And then I start to paint in the tiny details with the round brush. So the tiny details are, the tail, right, the back legs. This is the detail part. And what you're going to do is you can extend the legs of your giraffes past the purple part so that they're standing on the black part of your landscape. So now I'm going really slow and outlining each part of the giraffe, but I'm still holding on to my flat brush with black because I like to go in and smooth it out. Also haven't gotten to the baby giraffe yet. Just going really slow and kind of outlining as if I have a pencil in my hand. And then I color in each part very slowly. With the nose, sometimes I kind of dot the paint on because it's such a tiny part. Just take your time. I don't think this is a hard painting. It's just lots of attention to detail and taking your time. Filling in any spots that you left unpainted. I always have the problem of having it be unpainted somehow in the background, even though I do plenty of landscape. It kind of just happens. And we're going to go right into painting baby giraffe here. I do tend to paint the baby giraffe mostly with my round brush. Tracing around, filling in. Little by little, they should be looking like giraffes. Silhouettes. I like to start at the bottom of each giraffe. I feel like it's much easier to get thicker lines and then kind of whittle away as you get up top. But everybody does it differently. Whatever's easy for you. And remember to smooth out your paint afterward in your silhouette. I know my paint tends to kind of clump together since it's such a small space. So then I just go afterward and just smooth out all the paint. And then when you're ready with your tree, we do, again, a combination of our flat brush and our round brush. I find it easy to take the flat brush at first and start off with the shape of the tree. And also do the top part of the tree. But we have to also make some very subtle shapes, or I should say the tree, holes in the tree because of how the leaves are. And those kind of happen where the tree is meeting up with the bark area. So that's where you can start to kind of make it look a little more whole-like so that the landscape is kind of showing through. like so. So you literally paint the tree with the black as you're doing it. So see how I'm leaving little spots of the sky available? And then we have all of our branches to do. And that's with our round brush. I'm going to extend my tree a little more into the sun here. Okay, now I'm going in with my round brush here. You're going to make wiggly lines for the branches. Basically, the way you're going to do it is you're going to barely touch your canvas with your paintbrush, almost like it's floating above, but you are still touching it. And then you're going to make the first parts of the tree, the longer parts, and then you're going to make all those crazy branches. This over a little bit. I think I was a little bit out of view. Yeah, let's move that over. There we go. And here again, you're going to kind of skip spaces. Like the branch is very wiry. There's some small ones. Make lots of fun details now with the branches here. Make it look very much like an African tree. Make it wispy little branches. Connect to the larger ones. And just have a lot of fun with it. Touch up a little bit of orange. Here's my giraffe head here. There's always some kind of touching up. I'm so excited to see what everybody's looks like. Do that in another 2 minutes. I like to go over the edges of my tree one more time. Okay. So I'm going to remove my spotlight. And then if any of you are interested in sharing what you have, even if you're not completely finished yet, would love to see it. So I'm going to remove my spotlight now. And if you'd like to unmute and show your paintings, you can. Oh, Jackie. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Can you hold it up just a little bit higher? Beautiful. I'm gonna spotlight it for everyone. Oh my goodness, that is just gorgeous. Beautiful work, Jackie. Oh, I love the colors in your sky. Oh, lovely. Beautiful. With the spotlight. Oh, let me see, Susan. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Perfect. Oh, almost. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I fell
Gorgeous.
behind. I fell.
Back it up.
That's okay.
I fell behind with the giraffe, so.
That's okay. The giraffes are hard. Beautiful.
But I am happy that I have giraffes and not horses. So it was worth.
That's what I was gonna
worth the
say.
time.
Yours look like giraffes.
Mine is a horse and a llama. Oh wait, mine's Anita.
Yeah, Olivia did a horse and a llama, she said.
I love it. It's all good. It's beautiful. It's weird. Yay. Oh, Olivia, are you showing yours? Did I miss it? All right, let me see. On the spotlight. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, it's beautiful. I love your sky. How fiery it is.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Ooh, beautiful. Nice work. Yay. Great
Thank
job,
you.
everybody. Thank you. And if you would like to take a picture and send it in to us, I'm going to put my email in the chat. And my name is Anita Thompson from Art Venture Workshops. And if you would like to take a picture and send it to that email, that's my email. And you can also get on my weekly newsletter if you are not. It has the registration links for more upcoming programs as well. But I'd love for you to take a picture and send it in, and I can put it in the newsletter. Thank you so much, everybody. These look great. Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the
Have
rest.
a good rest of your summer.
You too. I haven't even been to the beach yet. Next week. Oh, thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night. See you soon.
All right.